Alright everybody, Sunday night and we're going to feed my native tank here. Nothing special in this video, I'm just going to throw some flake food in and we're just going to watch the little bit of a frenzy go on. And then a little later this evening I'll get around to putting some algae wafers in there. I'm actually going out for the evening, so I want to get their feeding done now. And that way if I get home later than I'm expecting tonight, I won't have to worry about feeding them too late in the evening. So they can tell I'm heading over this way. You get the top opened up here, and I usually just sprinkle a lot in, so let's see if I don't overdo it trying to do it one-handed here. You can see my little warmouth down there in the bottom, finding little pieces. The warmouth really seems to prefer the chunks of algae wafer. It'll eat the flakes that I put in there, the crisps or whatever you want to call them. I would just always call them flakes, even though they're technically crisps. But man, when I put some algae wafers in there, and I seldom throw entire algae wafers in a tank, I usually break them and crumble them up, and it spreads them around. People don't fight over them, etc. And when that warmouth gets a hold of one of those little pieces of algae wafer, man, it snatches it up and it runs and hides, and it loves that algae wafer. So I've actually been surprised by quite a few fish, and even the crayfish, who certainly seem to prefer the algae wafer over meatier type foods. And this one here can tell that it's feeding time and there's food in the tank and activity, but is not finding any of its preferred food, which is, as I said, the algae wafers. So later tonight I'll be able to get back in here, and the crayfish are nocturnal and come out, and they've got the great sense of smell, and of course they've got their little feelers. I believe they can pick up tastes and scents in the water with their feelers, and if that's the case, it really doesn't matter if I throw food in here late at night, even if it's 10-15 minutes before the lights go out, because the crayfish will still certainly find it during the night, and I don't have to worry about it. But we'll see the last little bits of that food sort of fading away and disappearing within the next few minutes. You can even see back here one of these crayfish. I believe this one may be the one that sloughed, because it's bigger than any one that I'm used to seeing in here, and it only has one claw on it. And I'm not sure how I got a big one with one claw. I do have one with half a claw, but its half claw is not this one, because this one's clearly got a full claw on the right side where the half claw used to be. Now, oh, you know what? Never mind, that is the half claw. It actually... I couldn't see the tip of it, so that is the one with the half claw. Okay, I'm getting my crayfish confused now. I'm sure I saw one here in the tank the other day that was missing a claw but was full size, although now that I'm thinking about it, I may have just mistaken that one the other day and seen it out and thought it was a different one. Not really sure. I definitely think I've got less crayfish in here than I used to. I said the other day that I found some remains of crayfish that was definitely the remains of crayfish and not a sloughed shell. So somebody got eaten, and it looked, judging by the size of the claws, it was probably about the size of this one here. And this one does not seem like it's my big one, and I don't know where the really big one is in the tank. Perhaps the big one is the one that sloughed and it got eaten and is no longer with us. This one can't get any grip on the glass. It's wedged its carapace against that rock behind it, and it's actually trying to climb by pushing its body against the rock to give it traction, and it's not actually able to grab a hold on anything on the glass. It'll be interesting to see how long he stands there and does that before he decides that it's time to move on. Well, I guess we're getting there. It didn't take as long as I thought. It really is interesting how clever these crayfish tend to be for having a nervous system less sophisticated than a cockroach. They do seem to be pretty clever little animals. So that was it. Just a quick feeding video. I really meant to look at the minnows swimming around more so than the crayfish, but as I said in a video the other day, I'm just kind of getting bored with watching minnows swim around. That's not really all that exciting. The crayfish, of course, are fascinating little animals. Let's see what this guy does. It looks like he's going to come over here and start climbing on the rocks again. I could spend all day watching the crayfish, but you know, 125-gallon tank just to house some crayfish in seems like a bit of overkill. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do. Might put another sunfish in the tank. I might even put a small group of sunfish in the tank of younger ones, and then we can watch them grow up. And as they get older and become aggressive towards the end of the summer, I can go ahead and rehome them, and we can put some different minnows back in here or something like that. Something will pop into my head one day, and I'll just spur of the moment say, you know what, I'm going to do that today. And we'll get that on video whenever I do that, whatever that turns out to be. So thanks for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss any of the updates or anything else I got going on. You never know what you're going to get from me. Don't forget, this is my native tank. Thanks again for watching this one. I hope to see you real soon in the next one.